Man, trying to get some energy going for the end of this day. I don't want to go to sleep yet. It's Saturday, so I had to get me some balls. Hopefully, this peps me up. What's up, everybody? It's your boy KLT back for another question of the day, and it's a nice weekend. Went looking around did some shopping, trying to find some stuff for my computer, but unfortunately, nothing turned up that I wanted. But so back to square one. We're just waiting for that 3080 to show up. Once it does, I'm gonna buy one immediately, but they don't seem to exist still for the time being. But the question of the day today is more of an old technology based question, not anything to do with computers. This one is about books. And so the question of the day is, what book had the most impact on you or your life? And to me, it's going to sound funny, I guess, maybe that it's a sci-fi fantasy book, but I grew up reading nothing but the Xanth novels when I was a kid, and that's what really got me into reading as it was anyway. And so I always read all the Xanth novels from Piers Anthony, and I read every single one. Every time they came out, I was the first one there to buy them and everything. And the one that had the most impact on me was the 24th book in the series. It's called The Dastard. Now, if you've never read a Xanth book, it's a fantasy series, and it's about, people that live in this magical land called Xanth, and there's all kinds of magic creatures, demons running around and things like that. But everyone in the world is born with one magic talent. So they can, there's any number of things that they can do that's magically gifted to them at birth. So like one is like they can speak with any inanimate object, or they can speak with any animate object, or they can cause anything to happen that they want, but it has to be a different way every time. So one time, hey, I want to fly, so they'll grow wings. And the other time, hey, I want to fly, so they'll be like wind that pushes them everywhere where they want to go and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool that if you haven't read any of them, I would definitely recommend reading them. They're awesome. All the talents go anywhere from like you can make a spot on the wall up to like you're a real magician that can do like these fantastical things that warp reality and stuff like that. So it's really cool. I love them. And the biggest reason that I love them and why I'm such a funny guy nowadays is because there's so many puns built into every part of the world. There's puns everywhere. Puns, puns, puns. It's like books full of dad jokes. So if you like dad jokes or just bad jokes in general, you need to read Xanth novels. They're just amazing. But the Dastard was a specifically important book for me because there's this character, the titular character, the Dastard, was one of these people that had a magical talent that wasn't very useful. His talent was the ability to come up with stupid ideas, and as you could guess, that's probably not the best talent. He probably wasn't very happy with that, and you would be correct. So what he did was he sold his soul to a demon for the chance to have a new magical talent. And the talent that he got for selling his soul was the ability to unhappen things, which was really just going back in time and changing stuff. But he could only go back in time to the point where he had gotten his talent in the first place. So he couldn't go back further than that. He couldn't go like back to, like go back years ago or anything or make any massive changes like that. But from the time where he got his talent onward, he can change anything that happened. And what he did, since he sold his soul, he kind of didn't care about anyone or anything else. And he went around the world of Xanth just making everyone's life miserable because his life was miserable. So he wanted everyone to join them. So what he would do is like if he would go around to different villages, and if he saw anyone happy because something happened, he would go back in time to the point where before that thing happened that made them happy, and he would unhappen it. And so it's called unhappening. I know that's not a word, but that's what he would do. He would go back and change it so that whatever it was that made them happy wouldn't have ever happened, and they would just go on with their life never knowing that they had missed out on something that was great for their life. And so it wasn't so much the making other people's lives miserable that I liked this character in this book for. It was because the main character, Anime, who changed his name to the Dastard, he when he sold his soul, he he didn't care about anything else. He like didn't have any emotions, didn't have any regrets, any sadness, anything like that. And I read this book at a time where in my life where I was going through some stuff, and reading that and seeing how he acted and things like that, I had the grand idea of fashioning myself like a persona after the Dastard. Probably not the best idea, but that's what I did to make it through some stuff that I had been going through. And so there was a large period of my life where I had, suppressed my emotions, and I was just all for me. I didn't care about anyone else, anything else, whatever was happening to anyone else. I could have cared less. I was just, whatever. All right, you hurt yourself. I don't know. Well, whatever. You can't get somewhere and you need a ride, and I'm the only one that can help you. Well, I don't have time for it, so whatever. It was really like I was really just all for myself, and I didn't care about anyone. I didn't help anyone. It was completely against my normal way of life, and I thought that's what I needed to do in order to get through this patch that I had found myself in. Now, throughout the book, he's going through like a number of adventures with these people that he'd been paired up with, and eventually he comes back and he finds happiness and gets his soul back and all that stuff. But I didn't focus on any of that part. I didn't learn the lesson from the story or anything. I just took the main meat of the book, where it's like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. I don't care about any of these people or anything else. So as long as there's something in it for me that I want and that's beneficial to me, then I'll do it. If there's not, I don't care. And for a while that worked for me. I think there was probably a number of years at least that I went through where it was just all for me. And I was just, I didn't care about anyone or anything else. I did everything that was just all for me. I was incredibly selfish, and I felt that I deserved to be that way. And that was what was the best for me. So I did it, and I didn't have any regrets in doing it while I was doing it, because I thought this was the way. But eventually, I started coming out of it, because I've always been a person that likes to help others. And, I've always been I've always done like volunteer work. I always go places and do volunteer. That's why I joined the Peace Corps. I mean, for God's sake. But that book was it came to me at a time where I thought I needed to be someone else in order to be happy. And so I started doing just that. And it got me through what I needed to get through at that time, because I was in some rough spots, and so I just had to do what I had to do to make it through. And that's why to this day I would say that that's my favorite book, not because it's like this grand masterwork or anything like that, but it's because it resonated with me at a time where I needed something or someone to do that. And so I would say this is probably not only my favorite book at that time, but probably my favorite book of all time, just because of what it means to me and what it meant to me at the time when I needed it. So if you ask me, like nowadays, there's all kinds of different books that I read all the time. I probably read, well, not read. I use Audible all the time. So I listen to about a book a week all the time. Fiction, nonfiction, self-help, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I'd probably have a different book. If I sat down and thought about it, I'd probably have a different book now at this time in my life that's had a significant impact on me. But without thinking, I can always remember what The Dastard was for me and what it did for me when I needed it too. So whenever I tell anyone to read anything, I always say Xanth novels. I always say The Dastard is my favorite book. So when you get to it, tell me what you think about it. And I want to see if anyone like really felt anything from it like I did. But enough of all that negative junk. That's way back in my past. I haven't felt the need to be like that for quite some time. I've been a completely different person for the majority of my adult life. So that's nothing that I put any thought to anymore. It's not something that I would say, I need to pull that guy out again or something. But it's something that I look back on, not fondly, but something that I look back on from time to time, and I'm like, oh, I remember when I was like this, and I kind of think, of the things that I did while I was in that phase of my life, and I'm just like, I probably could have done things a lot differently, but that at that time was what I thought I needed to do, and so I went through with it, and that was that. But enough of all that negative junk. I know a lot of you like to read or listen to books like I do now, and you guys probably read as much as I do, or more. Who knows? But what is the book that you think has the most significant impact on your life? What have you read over and over again, or what can you read whenever you're just sitting around? What do you like going back to? What has caused you to change or become a better person? I wonder what types of books you're all reading that would have any type of significant impact on you or what you're doing. So if you have a book like that, leave a comment below so I can figure out and try and read it myself, see what it would do for me. If you like Xanth novels, hit the like button so that way I know who my fellow Xanth heads are. And we can talk about some of the novels all over the place. I can talk about them forever because they're great. And or if you like sci-fi and fantasy, hit the like button so that way I know I've got some fellow nerds listening in. Or you know what's better? If you like books at all, hit the like button so that way I know that you can read. But that's it for today. We're going to drop it there. So we will catch you all tomorrow for the next question of the day. But until then, be easy and peace.